Welcome to today's exploration, where we unravel 11 profound psychological truths about women. Insights that not only enhance your understanding of relationships, but also tap into the timeless wisdom of ancient philosophy. In a world where many stumble in their interactions, struggling to build genuine connections, there lies a hidden advantage for those who seek to know themselves and others at a deeper level. Just as the Stoics teach that mastery of one's inner world leads to mastery of life, so too does understanding the inner workings of the human psyche open the path to more meaningful bonds. While 97% of people remain unaware of these subtle dynamics and encounter disappointment, the wise among us, those who approach life with both curiosity and self-discipline, can learn to foster connections that are grounded in respect, awareness, and emotional intelligence. This knowledge is not only for men aiming to cultivate authentic relationships with women, but also for women seeking greater self-awareness and empowerment. To understand oneself is to unlock a magnetic charm that naturally draws others in, a concept long embedded in the teachings of ancient philosophers like Socrates and Seneca. As we delve into these psychological insights, you'll discover that relationships are not about manipulation or strategy, but about alignment, where our actions, intentions, and inner values converge to create harmony with others. So, before we begin this journey, ask yourself, are you prepared to embrace these truths, not merely as information, but as tools for personal growth and deeper self-reflection? If so, we invite you to engage actively, like, comment, and subscribe to remain connected with more insights that will sharpen your mind and elevate your spirit. Let us proceed with care and curiosity, for these lessons, if taken to heart, hold the power to transform not just how you connect with others, but how you understand yourself. Fact 1. Women are emotionally moved by resonance, not just scent. In the realm of human connection, attraction is not simply a matter of physical chemistry. It is the resonance between two souls that shapes deeper bonds. While scent plays a role in attraction, as modern research suggests, what truly stirs a woman's heart is how she feels emotionally aligned with the essence a man projects. Ancient philosophers, including the Stoics, remind us that everything has its appropriate nature. Likewise, a person's energy, actions, and emotional presence must align with who they truly are. Just as Marcus Aurelius advises us to live in harmony with nature, so too must one's outward fragrance, whether literal or symbolic, be a reflection of an authentic inner self. Studies show that scent is tied closely to memory and emotion, but beneath this lies an even deeper truth: the emotional meaning a woman attaches to the experience. A fragrance worn without intention is mere perfume, but a scent chosen as an extension of character, whether cedarwood, sandalwood, or subtle citrus, has the power to evoke a sense of safety, warmth, and respect. This is because women, often more attuned to sensory details, value congruence. A scent, much like an action, resonates most when it is aligned with the identity of the one who carries it. The deeper wisdom here is about alignment and intentionality. For a man, cultivating such intentionality means not only finding a fragrance that complements his personality, but also ensuring that his every gesture is imbued with meaning. When a woman feels that a man's outward expressions, his scent, words, or actions, are in harmony with who he truly is, she experiences a sense of trust and comfort. This connection, built not on superficiality but on consistency, taps into something primal and reassuring. It reminds her, even on a subconscious level, that the man before her is steady, reliable, and worthy of emotional investment. Thus, the lesson is clear: cultivating attraction requires more than wearing the right fragrance. It demands mindfulness, a life lived with intention and harmony, where the external reflects the internal. When your presence carries both a scent and spirit of authenticity, you invite not just attraction but meaningful connection, grounded in respect and emotional resonance. The Stoics taught us to align our lives with nature. In relationships, this means aligning who we are with how we present ourselves, for it is this harmony that resonates most deeply with the hearts of others. Fact 2. Women admire men who walk their own path with purpose. Confidence, when rooted in clarity and inner discipline, is magnetic. But true confidence goes beyond mere appearances. It is the quiet assurance of a man who understands his values, walks his own path, and remains unmoved by the fleeting judgments of others. As Epictetus reminds us, no man is free who is not master of himself. Women are naturally drawn to men who exhibit this mastery, those who know what they stand for and express it with humility, without needing validation. Confidence built on such a foundation isn't loud or arrogant. It is steady, reflecting inner peace and purposeful living. This kind of self-possession resonates with women because it signals strength without dominance. A man secure in his identity does not impose his will upon others. Instead, he embodies respect for both himself and those around him. Women appreciate men who not only listen to their opinions, but also demonstrate thoughtful judgment in balancing them with their own beliefs. This blend of respect and decisiveness cultivates trust, something no relationship can flourish without. In moments of vulnerability, admitting a need for help or showing emotions thoughtfully makes a man relatable, not weak. As the Stoics teach, vulnerability is not a flaw but a recognition of one's humanity, a sign of courage rather than insecurity. Observing and understanding a woman's cues, her gestures, her expressions, becomes essential in nurturing this trust. Is she leaning in, making prolonged eye contact, and offering subtle smiles? These nonverbal signals are not just signs of interest. They reflect a growing sense of comfort and alignment. On the other hand, if she looks away or folds her arms, it suggests hesitancy or emotional distance. A wise man, guided by self-awareness, responds to these cues with empathy rather than reaction, respecting the unspoken boundaries and adjusting his approach with patience. Ultimately, walking one's path with purpose is not about stubborn independence, but about living authentically and cultivating a life of intentional action. This authenticity is what draws others close, especially those seeking more than surface-level connections. Women are naturally attuned to authenticity and feel most secure with a man whose actions align with his words. Like the Stoics, who lived in accordance with nature and reason, a man who embodies integrity and personal responsibility becomes not just attractive but admirable. It is through this alignment between thought, word, and deed that one earns the respect and affection of others, creating relationships rooted in mutual understanding and genuine connection. Fact 3. Women may feel deep connections they don't immediately express. In human relationships, much remains unsaid. Women, often guided by subtle emotions and nuanced perceptions, may feel a powerful connection without openly articulating it. This reticence is not always a lack of interest, but can stem from a deeper, cautious wisdom. Just as Stoic philosophy teaches us to act with intention and restraint, women may prefer to observe, waiting to see if a man's actions align with his words before making their feelings known. This mirrors the Stoic principle of focusing on what is within one's control. Trust is built gradually through consistent effort, not rushed declarations. Studies show that nearly 68% of women admit they might consider a romantic engagement if they feel emotionally secure and understood. This reveals an important truth. While attraction often begins in silence, it flourishes only when met with patience and respect. For a man interested in fostering such connections, the key lies in clear yet subtle communication. Expressing genuine interest, not just in appearances but in the woman's thoughts, passions, and aspirations, signals that he values her beyond superficial attraction. Asking meaningful questions and listening attentively demonstrates that he sees her as a person, not merely as a romantic prospect. Flirting, when done thoughtfully, plays a role in this dynamic. Compliments focused on something unique, like her insight or creativity, go further than those centered on appearance alone. These small acts of acknowledgement plant seeds of trust, signaling that his intentions are sincere without being overbearing. Stoicism reminds us that our actions must align with our inner values. In the same way, romantic gestures should reflect respect, care, and attentiveness. Women, like men, crave connection but are often mindful of the risks involved in expressing vulnerability too soon. A man who learns to read between the lines, paying attention to the rhythm of her words and the tone of her gestures, gains an advantage in understanding her silent affection. If she leans in closer during conversations or shares glimpses of her personal world, she is revealing more than words might suggest. However, if she distances herself or avoids deeper conversations, it's a signal to recalibrate one's approach with care. The lesson here is twofold. Patience cultivates trust, and actions speak louder than intentions. Just as the Stoics teach us to meet life with measured steps, so too must relationships develop at their own pace. By moving thoughtfully, a man not only creates space for genuine connections to form, but also demonstrates the kind of emotional maturity that resonates deeply with others. In the end, it is not grand gestures but quiet consistency that builds lasting bonds, a truth that, once understood, transforms how we approach relationships. Fact 4. Women are drawn to men with proven value. In relationships, attraction is often rooted in perception. Women tend to feel more drawn to men who are socially validated, those whose qualities have already been acknowledged by others. This phenomenon, known as preselection, aligns with evolutionary principles but also resonates with Stoic teachings about the value of virtue and reputation. Just as Marcus Aurelius urged, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. So too does a man's worth reveal itself through consistent action rather than self-promotion. When a man is respected by others, especially by women, it signals qualities of dependability, empathy, and wisdom, traits essential for meaningful relationships. The presence of other women, whether friends or acquaintances, conveys that a man is socially adept and emotionally intelligent, increasing his appeal. This is not about manipulation, but about building authentic social connections that reflect one's true character. Genuine friendships with women provide insight into emotional dynamics and help cultivate empathy. A man who nurtures these relationships becomes someone others trust and value, and this trust is silently communicated to potential romantic partners. It's not merely that he is chosen by others, but that his actions and demeanor continually demonstrate his value. However, it's important to approach this dynamic with integrity. Using others solely for social leverage contradicts the principles of Stoicism, which emphasize living in harmony with virtue and treating people with respect. A Stoic-minded man understands that relationships are built on mutual respect, not on appearances. He does not seek attention or validation but focuses on building meaningful connections through consistent, virtuous behavior. His social presence becomes an extension of who he is, a reflection of his commitment to being a person of value. When a man with such a reputation enters a social setting, it's not uncommon for others to take notice. Women are naturally attuned to the way a man interacts with those around him, observing how he treats his friends and acquaintances. If they sense that he commands respect through humility and consistency, their interest often follows. This dynamic isn't about vanity. It reflects the human desire to connect with someone who embodies reliability and social competence. The lesson here is that authenticity and intentional relationships matter. Just as a Stoic does not chase after praise, but lets his actions speak for themselves, a man should cultivate his social world thoughtfully. By focusing on friendships and living with integrity, he creates a natural preselection effect, one that attracts meaningful connections rather than fleeting attention. The respect and interest of others become a byproduct, not the goal, of a life well lived. Fact 5. Playful teasing reflects emotional comfort and connection. Teasing, when exchanged with a light heart and good intentions, is more than just a playful interaction. It reveals the presence of emotional comfort and budding attraction. Women often use humor and playful remarks not merely to entertain, but to test the waters of emotional connection. Like a gentle dance between vulnerability and confidence, teasing helps them assess how well a man can engage without taking himself too seriously. The Stoics remind us that we should not be disturbed by external events, but instead cultivate composure and presence of mind. In the same way, being able to handle teasing with ease reflects emotional steadiness, a trait that women find both reassuring and appealing. When a woman teases, she is often signaling that she feels safe enough to let her guard down, inviting the man to meet her at the same level of emotional ease. A witty response shows that he can engage without defensiveness, signaling confidence and flexibility. This exchange creates a shared space where both individuals can connect without the weight of expectations. However, such teasing must always remain respectful, avoiding sarcasm or remarks that might cause discomfort. The goal is not to win a verbal contest, but to nurture mutual enjoyment and rapport. Imagine a scenario where a woman playfully mocks a man's choice of coffee, calling it basic. If he responds with a grin and says, "Well, someone has to keep things simple," the interaction becomes a playful exchange rather than a point of contention. This type of banter reflects a deeper sense of connection, built on the ability to engage freely without fear of judgment. A Stoic-minded man knows that humor, when balanced with respect, becomes a tool for building trust and emotional closeness. The key to mastering this playful dynamic lies in self-awareness. Responding with charm rather than defensiveness shows that a man is comfortable with himself, a trait rooted in the Stoic idea of emotional equanimity. Teasing, at its best, is a subtle invitation to deeper connection, a shared signal that both people are present in the moment, enjoying each other's company without pretense. When done well, it creates a foundation for trust and camaraderie, two essential elements for any meaningful relationship. Ultimately, playful teasing invites both individuals to let go of unnecessary seriousness and embrace the simplicity of the present moment. In doing so, it echoes the Stoic principle of accepting life as it comes, without resistance or overreaction. This ability to laugh, even at oneself, is not only attractive but also transformative, allowing relationships to grow from a place of mutual joy and authenticity. Fact 6. Women communicate through subtle signals beyond words. Much of what women express exists not in spoken language, but in the realm of subtle gestures and unspoken cues. As Stoicism teaches us to observe without judgment and respond with clarity, relationships also demand the same kind of attentive awareness. Women often reveal their emotions through small, intentional signals, a glance, a slight touch, a shift in posture. These nonverbal cues carry profound meaning, requiring the man to step beyond literal communication and into the realm of intuitive understanding. For example, a woman who plays with her hair or leans closer during conversation is often signaling interest and comfort. Similarly, prolonged eye contact paired with a gentle smile conveys curiosity and emotional openness. In contrast, crossed arms, avoidance of eye contact, or physical distancing may suggest discomfort or hesitation. The key is not to overanalyze each gesture, but to cultivate an awareness of the overall flow of interaction, much like the Stoic practice of staying present in each moment without attachment to outcomes. Men who can read these silent signals and respond with empathy demonstrate emotional intelligence, a trait highly valued in meaningful relationships. When a man senses a woman's interest or hesitation and adjusts his behavior thoughtfully, whether by softening his tone or shifting the topic of conversation, it reflects respect and emotional attunement. This attentiveness fosters trust and strengthens the emotional bond, allowing both individuals to feel understood without the need for excessive explanation. The Stoics remind us to be mindful of things within our control and to let go of the rest. In relationships, this wisdom applies to recognizing that not all emotions will be communicated directly. Rather than demanding clarity through words, a Stoic-minded man learns to listen with his whole presence, tuning into what is unspoken. This ability to be fully present, responding to both verbal and nonverbal cues with understanding, creates a deeper connection that transcends surface-level communication. Consider the example of a man noticing subtle changes in a woman's mood, her smile fading, her gaze shifting slightly. Instead of ignoring these signs, he gently asks if everything is all right, creating space for her to share her emotions without pressure. This kind of responsiveness shows that he values her emotional world and is attuned to her needs. When women sense that they are understood in this way, they naturally feel safer and more connected, building a foundation for deeper trust. Ultimately, relationships flourish when both individuals learn to communicate beyond words. The ability to read subtle signals and respond thoughtfully is not only a sign of emotional maturity, but also an essential skill for building lasting connections. Just as the Stoics teach us to cultivate patience and awareness in all things, successful relationships require this same mindful presence, allowing what is unspoken to be heard and what is felt to be honored. Fact 7. Women focus on emotional presentation in intimate moments. In intimate moments, women are often deeply aware of how they present themselves, not merely out of vanity, but as an expression of emotional connection. This attention to appearance reflects more than a desire to be attractive. It reveals the importance they place on fostering intimacy through thoughtful presentation. The Stoic principle of aligning actions with intention applies here. Just as we should act with purpose in all things, a woman's efforts to maintain her appearance in intimate settings express her desire to create a meaningful and fulfilling experience. The details, whether it's the choice of clothing, the fragrance she wears, or the effort she puts into her appearance, serve as subtle signals of how much she values the shared experience. Complementing these efforts with sincerity does more than boost her confidence. It deepens the emotional connection. Simple affirmations, such as "you look beautiful," convey more than admiration. They reassure her that her efforts are seen, appreciated, and reciprocated. This acknowledgement aligns with the Stoic idea of respect. When we notice and honor the intentions behind another's actions, we foster trust and mutual understanding. However, it is essential to recognize that such moments are not just about outward appearance. They reflect a deeper emotional exchange. Women often seek to feel emotionally safe and cherished in intimate settings. A man who expresses his appreciation, not just for how she looks but for who she is, strengthens the bond between them. This mirrors the Stoic practice of focusing on inner value rather than external appearances alone. True connection is built not on how things look, but on the authenticity of the emotions shared. Take, for example, a man who, during an intimate moment, notices not only the elegance of a woman's dress, but also the nervous excitement in her smile. By acknowledging both, he affirms her inner world and outer efforts simultaneously, creating an atmosphere of mutual respect and emotional security. This combination of attentiveness and appreciation lays the foundation for deeper intimacy, where both partners feel valued beyond the surface. The lesson here is simple yet profound. Intimacy flourishes when effort is recognized and reciprocated. Just as Stoic wisdom teaches us to value actions aligned with virtue, relationships thrive when both partners are intentional in how they present themselves, emotionally and physically. In these moments, beauty becomes more than appearance. It transforms into an act of care, a gesture that reflects the desire to nurture something meaningful. Through mindful appreciation, we honor these efforts, deepening the emotional connection and allowing intimacy to blossom naturally. Fact 8. Emotional bonding enhances the depth of intimacy. For women, Emotional connection is the foundation of meaningful intimacy, far surpassing physical attraction. In relationships, intimacy is not merely a transaction of touch. It is a profound exchange of trust, vulnerability, and shared emotions. As Stoic philosophy emphasizes the alignment between thought and action, true intimacy demands harmony between emotional openness and physical presence. A woman must feel emotionally secure to fully engage in intimate moments, and this emotional safety stems from a man's ability to understand, empathize, and connect with her inner world. Unlike fleeting physical attraction, emotional intimacy requires time and intentional effort. It begins with meaningful conversations, discussions that invite her to express her hopes, fears, and dreams without fear of judgment. When a man listens attentively and validates her emotions, he creates a space where she feels seen and understood. This emotional resonance strengthens her sense of connection and allows physical intimacy to evolve naturally. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. When a man's actions reflect his genuine care, it colors the relationship with trust and authenticity, inviting deeper connection. This delicate process of bonding mirrors the Stoic principle of patience. Just as a wise individual allows events to unfold without rushing them, a man seeking meaningful intimacy must respect the pace at which emotional trust is built. Pressuring a woman into physical closeness without first nurturing the emotional bond creates dissonance, eroding the potential for deeper connection. Instead, a man should focus on small, meaningful gestures, asking how she feels, engaging in reflective conversations, and being present in moments of emotional vulnerability. These actions, though subtle, lay the groundwork for trust and deepen the emotional foundation of the relationship. Consider the example of a man who notices his partner feeling emotionally distant. Rather than brushing off her mood or seeking immediate solutions, he engages with curiosity and empathy, asking if something is on her mind. This simple gesture signals that he is not merely interested in the relationship on a surface level, but is committed to understanding her deeper emotional experience. By fostering this kind of emotional connection, he creates a space where intimacy can flourish, not just physically but in the heart and mind as well. The key lesson here is that intimacy is most fulfilling when it flows from emotional understanding. As Stoicism teaches us to be deliberate in our actions, relationships too must be approached with intention and patience. True connection arises not from the pursuit of fleeting pleasure, but from the cultivation of trust, empathy, and mutual respect. In this way, physical intimacy becomes an extension of the emotional bond, something nurtured over time through shared moments of care and genuine presence. Fact 9. Women often find emotional refuge in friendships more than romantic relationships. For many women, friendships serve as emotional sanctuaries, spaces where they feel truly seen, understood, and accepted without judgment. While romantic relationships carry deep meaning, they also come with expectations and complexities that can sometimes feel burdensome. In contrast, friendships offer an ease and emotional security that is often difficult to replicate elsewhere. This dynamic highlights a truth rooted in both psychology and ancient philosophy. Meaningful connections are not measured by intensity alone, but by the sense of safety they provide. Just as Stoicism teaches us to value tranquility and inner peace, women often turn to their closest friends for emotional relief, where they can experience unfiltered connection without the weight of relational obligations. The Stoic principle of apatheia, freedom from emotional disturbance, can help us understand this dynamic. In friendships, women find a similar kind of emotional freedom. Friends offer companionship without the pressures that often accompany romantic relationships. No need for constant reassurance, conflict resolution, or emotional negotiation. This refuge allows women to process their thoughts and emotions openly, helping them maintain a sense of balance and mental clarity. Recognizing this need for emotional diversity can help a man avoid the trap of possessiveness or insecurity, understanding that her friendships enrich her life rather than detract from their relationship. Healthy relationships require space for each person to grow independently, and friendships play a vital role in that personal development. A Stoic-minded man understands that trying to monopolize a woman's emotional world is neither wise nor sustainable. Instead, he supports her friendships, knowing that they serve as essential outlets for her emotional well-being. Encouraging her to nurture these connections is not a threat to the relationship. It is a gesture of respect and trust, demonstrating that he values her independence and emotional fulfillment. Consider the example of a man who notices his partner spending significant time with her close friends. Instead of feeling threatened, he acknowledges the importance of these connections in her life. He encourages her to maintain these friendships, knowing that they contribute to her happiness and emotional health. At the same time, he works to cultivate his own emotional bond with her, ensuring that their relationship also remains a source of support and connection. The lesson here is clear. Just as Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and accept what we cannot, relationships thrive when both partners respect each other's need for emotional diversity. Supporting a partner's friendships without insecurity reflects emotional maturity and fosters trust. By understanding that emotional fulfillment can come from various sources, both partners can nurture a relationship that is grounded in mutual respect, independence, and genuine connection. In the end, love grows strongest when it is not possessive but liberating, when it allows space for each person to be fully themselves, enriched by the relationships that give their lives meaning. Fact 10. Some women may engage in relationships for emotional validation, not love. While many women seek authentic connections, some engage in relationships not out of love, but for emotional validation. This behavior reflects a deeper need to feel valued, desired, or affirmed, filling emotional gaps that may not be met elsewhere. Just as the Stoics caution against becoming attached to external validation, individuals who rely on relationships for self-worth risk forming superficial connections. These interactions may feel satisfying in the moment, but often lack the depth needed for lasting fulfillment. Recognizing this dynamic requires both self-awareness and discernment, ensuring that one's intentions align with the pursuit of genuine connection rather than fleeting affirmation. The Stoic principle of autarkia, or self-sufficiency, teaches that lasting contentment comes from within, not from external sources. Similarly, a healthy relationship should not serve as a remedy for insecurity, but as a space where two whole individuals come together to grow. For this reason, it is important to gauge whether a woman's interest stems from genuine affection or from a desire for emotional reassurance. A relationship built on the latter can quickly become unbalanced, with one partner constantly seeking affirmation while the other feels emotionally drained. A Stoic-minded man must approach relationships with mindfulness and clarity, ensuring that his efforts are directed toward meaningful bonds. Before investing deeply, he should pay attention to how the woman engages with him. Does she ask thoughtful questions, show curiosity about his life, and express genuine interest in who he is? Or does she focus primarily on how his attention makes her feel, seeking validation through compliments and affection without offering the same in return? These subtle distinctions are crucial in determining the authenticity of the connection. Consider the example of a man who notices that his partner seems most attentive when she needs emotional reassurance, but grows distant during moments of calm. Recognizing this pattern, he thoughtfully addresses the issue, asking whether she feels fulfilled within herself or relies on their relationship for validation. Through honest conversation, they can either deepen their connection by addressing underlying insecurities or part ways with clarity and mutual respect. The lesson here reflects the wisdom of the Stoics. True relationships require intentional effort and alignment, not dependency. Just as we are called to cultivate inner strength, we must also seek relationships that enhance, rather than replace, our sense of self. A meaningful connection is not built on the need to feel enough, but on the mutual desire to grow together. By approaching relationships with discernment and self-awareness, both partners can avoid the trap of emotional dependency, fostering bonds that are grounded in authenticity and personal growth. Fact 11. Women appreciate emotional presence during times of distress. When a woman feels overwhelmed or upset, what she often needs most is emotional presence, not solutions, but someone who can sit with her emotions and offer genuine support. This aligns with a key Stoic teaching: to meet challenges with presence of mind rather than avoidance or hasty action. Women value partners who respond to their emotional struggles with empathy and patience, recognizing that moments of distress are not obstacles to be fixed but experiences to be shared. A man's ability to stay emotionally present during these times strengthens trust and deepens the connection between them. It is common for men to feel the urge to withdraw or give space when a woman is upset, assuming she needs time alone to process. However, many women feel most cared for when someone acknowledges their emotions rather than dismissing or distancing from them. Stoicism teaches that avoiding discomfort only deepens it. Facing challenges with calm acceptance is the wiser path. Similarly, a man who offers quiet support without rushing to solve her problems demonstrates emotional intelligence and self-mastery. This patience tells her, "I see you, and I am here with you," which is often all she needs in that moment. Listening with intention and practicing active empathy are essential in these situations. Simple acts, such as maintaining eye contact, nodding, and offering thoughtful responses, create a sense of connection and validation. A Stoic-minded man understands that his role is not to control or resolve her emotions, but to stand by her with calm strength. His ability to be fully present, without becoming overwhelmed by her emotions, reflects the Stoic principle of emotional equilibrium, remaining steady regardless of external circumstances. Consider the example of a woman coming home frustrated after a difficult day at work. Rather than offering quick advice or telling her to get over it, her partner gently asks how she feels and listens as she unpacks her thoughts. In doing so, he creates a space where she can release her frustrations and feel understood. His emotional presence strengthens the bond between them, showing her that she is not alone in her struggles. The key lesson here is that true support lies in presence, not problem-solving. As Stoicism teaches, we cannot control others' emotions, only our responses to them. A man who learns to sit with discomfort, both his own and that of others, demonstrates maturity and inner strength. Emotional presence becomes a gift, offering comfort without demand, and nurturing the kind of trust that forms the foundation of lasting relationships. In these moments, love manifests not through grand gestures but through quiet companionship, the willingness to simply be there, whatever storms may come. Conclusion. The path to meaningful relationships lies not in tricks or fleeting attraction, but in the cultivation of inner awareness, emotional intelligence, and intentional action. Each of the insights we've explored, whether rooted in the psychology of attraction or the nuances of emotional bonding, offers an opportunity to grow, not just as partners in relationships, but as individuals. As the Stoics remind us, the quality of our relationships mirrors the quality of our inner life. When we bring presence, empathy, and authenticity into our interactions, we align with the natural flow of human connection, creating bonds that are not only resilient but deeply fulfilling. True relationships require more than attraction. They demand mutual respect, patience, and a commitment to understanding both ourselves and others. By applying these principles thoughtfully, you'll cultivate relationships built on trust, empathy, and shared values, connections that grow over time, grounded in emotional depth and genuine care. The wisdom of ancient philosophy encourages us to embrace each interaction with mindfulness, seeing every relationship as a chance to express virtue and practice self-mastery. If these insights resonated with you and you're committed to becoming the best version of yourself, we invite you to join us on this journey of personal growth and self-discovery. Subscribe to the channel, engage with our content, and stay connected as we continue to explore the intersections of psychology, philosophy, and self-development. With each new insight, you'll be better equipped to navigate relationships with wisdom and purpose, creating a life that reflects your deepest values. Thank you for watching, and remember, the journey toward meaningful connection begins with the way we connect to ourselves. Stay mindful, stay intentional, and together, let's build lives and relationships of lasting value. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps us bring you more powerful content and inspires us to continue sharing insights that can transform both your mind and your relationships.